Having reached the hour of 5:30 p.m., I am calling the September 9th, 2025 Modesto City Council meeting to order and ask the city clerk to call the roll.
Councilmember Williams.
Here.
Councilmember Wright.
Here.
Councilmember Gutierrez-Brayton.
Here.
Councilmember Alvarez.
Here.
Councilmember Ricky.
Here.
Vice Mayor Bavaro.
Here.
And Mayor Zwallen.
Here. Will everyone please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by the invocation from Jeremy Brown from Doctors Medical Center.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. Please join me as I pray. Gracious God, I come before you with gratitude this evening. Thank you for the way you've created each of our city leaders, giving them each skills, unique gifts and abilities, personalities. Thank you for instilling in each of our city leaders a heart to serve others. God, thank you for the gift of this city, the beauty we have in our diversity. And we have so much rich history here. God, thank you for the residents who live in this city who truly want to help be a part of advancing the story of Modesto into the future generations. Lord, I ask for your wisdom to rest upon each leader here. Grant them clarity and decision, making humility and leadership, and may compassion be just infused into every conversation, every action they take. May your way of doing things may your way of doing life be our example. May we love our neighbors deeply. God, help us to sacrifice for one another. Please continue to guide our city leaders to be examples of just that, loving our neighbors. And I acknowledge there may be challenges this body faces as they lead our city. So God, I humbly ask that you would just infuse this council and all of our leaders with your all-sufficient grace. In our differences, help us to work towards solutions which have others in mind and not just our own desires. Your power is made perfect in our weakness. So God, as we seek to serve others, may we reflect your heart for all people. So please bless this meeting tonight with your peace. It's only because of your grace we can pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Does the city clerk have any announcements?
Yes, Mayor. A reminder, public comment is 3 minutes. Blue speaker cards are available at the entrance of the chambers. Also, written public comment was received and forwarded to the council. Additionally, there will be a special city council meeting immediately following the adjournment of this meeting.
Thank you. Do any of the council members have any conflicts of interest? All right. Will the city attorney please report out on closed session?
Yes, Mayor. The City Council met in closed session on several items today related to property negotiations, existing litigation, and anticipated litigation. One of the items included in the closed session was related to the national opioid litigation. By unanimous vote, the City Council gave direction to the city manager and the city attorney to take the necessary actions to participate in this round of settlements involving Purdue Pharma and the Sackler family and 8 opioid manufacturers. This will result in additional funds for the city to use in combating the negative impacts of opioids. The exact amount of the settlements still is uncertain, but it can be up to $769,248.88. payable over a period of 16 years.
All right, thank you. Next on the agenda is acknowledgements and presentations. And item 1 is a proclamation declaring September 15th through October 15th as National Hispanic Heritage Month. I will read the proclamation. The City of Modesto acknowledges the rich cultural heritage and significant contributions of Hispanic individuals to our community, our nation, and our history. The contributions of generations of Hispanics have helped shape our society, economy, culture, and values. Hispanic Heritage Month offers an opportunity to honor and celebrate the cultures, traditions, and accomplishments of Hispanic Americans. The 2025 theme is Defining Culture and Influence, which aims to amplify the voices, stories, and impacts of Hispanics who shape industries, communities, and the broader cultural landscape. Celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month encourages understanding, appreciation, and unity among our residents, fostering a more inclusive and harmonious community. Modesto's population is 44% Hispanic, which is 96,323 people. We cherish the cultural diversity these residents bring, which enriches our city through leadership, language, traditions, food, music, and art. Now therefore, I, Suze Wallen, Mayor of the City of Modesto, do hereby proclaim September 15th through October 15th, 2025 as National Hispanic Heritage Month. And I urge all residents to participate in events, activities, and educational opportunities that honor the contributions and celebrate the vibrant culture of Hispanic Americans. Dated this 9th day of September, 7th September 2025. Receiving and accepting this proclamation is Jose Marino, VP of Operations from El Concilio, California. If you'd like to step forward and make a few remarks, we'd appreciate it.
Thank you. Good evening. Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, council members. Again, my name is Jose Moreno, Vice President of Operations with El Concilio, California. Before I make my brief remarks, I just want to take this opportunity to recognize our Modesto staff that's here. So it's a small staff. We're missing a couple, but I just wanted to briefly recognize them. On behalf of El Concilio, California, I want to thank the City of Modesto for this proclamation recognizing National Hispanic Heritage Month. This honor is not just for our organization, but for generations of Latinos who have contributed to the culture, economy, and the spirit of this community. Hispanic Heritage Month is a time to reflect on our history, celebrate our traditions, and uplift the voices of our families and youth who continue to shape the future of the Central Valley. At El Concilio, we remain committed to uplifting, serving, and advocating for our diverse community so that we all may thrive. We deeply appreciate the city's recognition, and we look forward to continuing to work together to build a stronger, more inclusive Modesto for all. Thank you.
Thank you for being here this evening, and I'll bring the proclamation down.
Ready for the 19th?
I should have.
Oops, sorry.
And they'll have some comments. I should have done that before the presentation. You'll wait to hear the comments from the council. Appreciate it. Sonia, would you mind taking a picture with her phone? Thank you. She could send those to you too. All right, thank you very much.
Thank you again.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, I neglected to ask for council comments for item 1. So at this time, Councilmember Scudia-Brayton.
Thank you, Mayor, for the opportunity. I just wanted to thank Jose and staff from El Concilio to come here and accept this resolution on behalf of the Hispanic community here in Modesto. El Concilio has been around for many years, I believe over 50 years, providing just wonderful integral services to Central Valley and everyone here in the city of Modesto. So thank you for the services you provide. But I also wanted to personally recognize and applaud the contributions made by our Hispanic community here to the city of Modesto. As the mayor indicated, with the Hispanic population being approximately 50%, it's quite a bit of our community, sector of our community. And Hispanics have, the residents have been an integral part of the Modesto ambiance. They've contributed immensely to the economic vitality of the city of Modesto. They've contributed immensely to the cultural richness of the city of Modesto, and they've contributed significantly to the civic and political life for the betterment of all Modestans here in Modesto. An example of is on this council, the representation, as well as in this past election in November 2024, Stanislaus County made history with having a large number of Latinas elected into elected office. Over 12 were elected school boards, councils of our various communities all in Central Valley, but in bringing it just a unique perspective. And so I just wanted to recognize again just the integral and wonderful contribution that this sector of our community contributes to the city of Modesto. So thank you.
All right, Councilmember Alvarez.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm going to echo the sentiments of my colleague, Rosa Escudillo-Brayton, and just give thanks to El Concilio, Jose, and your team, Karime. I've known you all for about a decade now. I sit on the Latino Emergency Council for El Concilio. I'm a board member there, and we work to try to prepare the Latino community with culturally appropriate emergency response. That's coordinated with the county and other agencies as well in times of emergencies. So through that work, I've gotten to know your team and you, Jose, and the larger El Concilio team, Jose Rodriguez and others. And it's been a really good opportunity for me to learn from you as another generation, you and Jose and others older than me. And so I use that knowledge to lead from a position of authenticity, because anybody could call themselves Latino with 2%, right? But authentic Latino, authentic Chicanos, authentic Mexican American is a whole different thing. So props to you guys for all the continuous work that you guys are doing. So not only are we celebrating National Hispanic Heritage Month and honoring our rich culture and history and contributions of our Hispanic community here in Modesto, but we're acknowledging, small businesses and the contributions that Latinos make to the economic vitality, as Rosa had mentioned, and from small business to public service, arts and education, all it's weaved throughout the fabric of our community and throughout, quite frankly, from the vantage point that I have, I'm blessed to be able to represent my district, the district that I was raised in. The mayor had mentioned 40% Hispanic. District 2 is 74% Hispanic. And of that 74%, 93% is of Mexican-American ethnicity or Mexican descent. So it's important to have that frame when I'm making decisions up here to lead with authenticity. So yeah, I wanted to just highlight those things and make sure that people understand those statistics when I approach this seat. It's through an authentic lens and not just a mere talking point.
All right, Councilmember Ricky.
Thanks, Mayor. I also want to echo the sentiments of Councilmembers Escudia-Brayton and Councilmember Alvarez. But I want to take it a little bit further in the sense that, especially in uncertain times like these, I think this proclamation is really important. And I appreciate you guys being here to accept it. And I just hope that you guys and your community feel supported by this council. And just know that if you need something, please call on us.
All right, Councilmember Williams.
Thank you, Mayor. And I did definitely enjoy everything that was already been said by my constituency, or excuse me, my colleagues. My constituents didn't speak yet. However, I do want to share that there are a lot of other events that will be taking place in the month of September. Particularly, El Concilio is putting on a gala downtown Modesto at the DoubleTree Hotel, 6:30, September the 19th. And I'm sure there's tickets still available, right, Jose? All right. And so if you just look up El Concilio, if you can't find it anywhere else, you can find it on Facebook. There are a few other events that will be taking place on the 27th, if I'm not mistaken, with something that Maggie Mejia is doing over at the Red Event Center. Then also there is one other event at El Rematito on South Modesto. Go ahead.
Celebrate Hispanic Independence Day, El Grito, and that will be on the 12th.
The 12th, that's right, at about 5:30, 6 o'clock.
Correct.
And they'll have a lot of festivities going on. But don't forget to go to El Concilio's gala. They have Gina Brillian, is that how she's a comedian of some sort that will be speaking. But thank you for everything you do for all the Hispanics in this community, particularly those that are ESL who are trying to navigate their way in the United States of America, and you've done so much to help so many people to do that. So thank you very much, you and your team, Jose.
I'll just make some very brief remarks, particularly about El Concilio. Prior to being mayor, there was 10 years when I was on the school board and a couple of extra before where I was there at least 3 times a month. And I will say that the education that I received at the meetings at El Concilio prepared me in every way for this position as mayor. Guest speakers were brought in, any timely current situations. It was Congress people, assembly members, senators, school board members, county office of education, and the services that were provided were remarkable. Health fairs where thousands of people were provided health services. There's also classes, multiple classes that occur there for people to become citizens where the education is provided. So it's remarkable. Thank you so much for your service, and we appreciate you being here this evening. All right, next is item 2, a proclamation recognizing California's 175th anniversary of statehood. And I will read the proclamation, and it is today. Since 1850, California has created a remarkable impact on the United States, embracing people from all walks of life. Standing as a beacon of opportunity, California has the 4th largest economy in the world, which continues to grow every day because of the vibrant community that fuels it. California has been a center for innovation in every field, serving as the Golden State from day one. Through technology, the arts, higher education, stunning wilderness, and world-renowned agriculture, California has thrived in bringing the world together. The resilience, inclusion, and forward nature of California paved the way to a brighter future for all. California's Central Valley, with Modesto at its heart, continues to lead California's incredible agricultural productivity, feeding millions of people daily. California's 175th anniversary offers a time to honor the long-standing legacy of California and the vision for a united future. On this day, we proudly celebrate California's many contributions and its importance to advancing the United States of America. Now, therefore, I, Suze Wallen, Mayor of the City of Modesto, do hereby proclaim the day of September 9th, 2025, as California's 175th anniversary of statehood. Accepting will be Taylor Kimber, Central California Coordinator for External Affairs, Officer of Governor Gavin Newsom. Would you like to step up to the podium and make even a few remarks?
Well, I can't say a lot, but hello, my name is Taylor Kimber. I am here as the Central California Coordinator for External Affairs for Office of Governor Newsom. And I just want to thank you all so much and happy birthday to California. So thank you for really pushing this through. We're so grateful.
All right, council members, do you have any comments? Councilmember Ricky.
Thanks, Mayor. You see a lot in the media about people, saying bad things about California, but I'm just so proud to live here and so proud of our state and the things we've achieved, from being the fourth largest economy in the world to a center of innovation and entertainment, and basically being the world's breadbasket. This is an amazing state, and I'm really proud to live here.
Thank you. Councilmember Williams.
Thank you, Mayor. I also am very proud of California. I wouldn't want to live anywhere else. We have our wonderful 4 seasons, where other places in the world don't have 4 seasons. We can go anywhere in California and enjoy California's lush mountains, seas, rivers, diverse places. California is the place to be. So if you're not from California, you need to move to California.
All right, Councilmember Scooty Brayton.
Thank you, Mayor. Taylor, happy birthday. And thank you for being here and recognizing that Central Valley, Modesto, is an integral part of the success of California and its vitality. With Central Valley being the gateway of goods and services to the world, we feed the world with our ag that we have here. And having 2 main thoroughfares, both 99 and to our west 5, connecting both the south and the north. Central Valley is key to California's success. So thank you for recognizing that, and look forward to trying to make our beautiful state and city even better by collaborating together. Thank you.
I've thought about this one quite a bit since we were invited to, this was brought to light and we were invited to present this. And this morning when I was at home getting ready, I thought, I am so grateful for grandparents that chose, of all the places in the world that they could have chosen to be, they chose Modesto, California. My ancestors, on my mother's side from Switzerland, went to Tillamook, Oregon, and then chose to come to Modesto, California to farm. On my father's side, from the Azore Islands, there's a lot of people from the Azore Islands in California, to New London, Connecticut, to Modesto, California. And I am so grateful to live in this state where our weather is just so fabulous. Our crops grow fully as long as they have water. We know that water is the lifeblood for our community. So I really am appreciative that you emailed me, that you brought this to our attention, and that you took the time this evening to be here to accept it. So thank you for that, and I'll bring the proclamation down now. next on the agenda is public comment. As noted on the agenda, public comment will only be in person. Zoom will still be available for viewing and wordly translation. Thank you all for being here tonight. The City of Modesto Council meetings are a place where everyone is encouraged to listen, share views, and participate in the decision-making process that benefits our community. Your engagement is valuable, and it helps our council and city staff collaborate on finding solutions that enhance the quality of life for the residents of Modesto. To be fair and equitable, every individual has the right to speak at this council meeting. However, it is imperative that we foster and maintain a respectful environment for the well-being and safety for everyone present at these proceedings. It is the mayor's responsibility to preserve strict order and decorum at all council meetings. Pursuant to the Charter of the City of Modesto, Article 6, the mayor, Section 601, Powers and Duties of Mayor. The mayor shall have the authority to preserve order at all council meetings and to remove or cause the removal of any person from any meeting of the council for disorderly conduct, to enforce the rules of the council, and to determine the order of business under the rules of the council. Accordingly, the city council meeting decorum rules are as follows. Please be respectful of all presenters, council members, staff, and members of the public. Please refrain from clapping other than following a presentation. All speakers are encouraged to state their name and city of residence. All questions must be directed to the mayor. Please do not block the view of others by holding signs up during council meetings. Time limits for public comment is 3 minutes, but may be limited at the discretion of the mayor to manage the business of the council. Speaking over others or interrupting while others have the floor is not permitted. Cell phones should be turned off or shall be set to vibrate during meetings. Thank you for your patience and participation as we work together to address the issues impacting the community. Maintaining order and decorum during city council meetings is crucial in the effective governance of Modesto and ensuring the council's decisions are reflective of the community's priorities. Anyone disrupting the council meeting may be asked to leave. Does anyone wish to speak on any item under public comment? This is for items not on the council agenda, and you have 3 minutes to speak. Anyone wishing to address the city council is asked to follow the rules of decorum. The rules of decorum are posted at the entrance of the chambers. So I will read the cards, speaker cards, in the order that I received them. First is Carla.
Good afternoon, City Council. I appreciate your guys' honoring Hispanic Heritage Month. As a person who comes from a family of immigrants, from an indigenous family from Mexico, I am also happy that my family chose Modesto, California, when they could have chosen, we're more city people like San Diego or like New York. So I'm glad they came over here. And I'm glad you guys are invested in the issues that are affecting the Hispanic community. As you guys know, like in the past day, the Supreme Court ruled that racial profiling cannot be legal using ICE agents. And I know that has nothing to do with your power as a local government, but I do want to address one issue. Since we are invested in Hispanic interests, I want to go ahead and bring up the option of Hispanic safety. For one, you guys have heard me talk about the incident involving the mask ordinance. The reason that is important is because when you guys target people for using masks, especially brown and black people, since our Modesto Police Department ended up targeting those people instead of like the people at the No Kings protest, which was mostly involved white people, it puts our community at risk. Especially since right now we are already being more targeted. You guys, we have an ACLU complaint against our Modesto Police Department with disproportionate excessive use of power. You guys are the ones who have the power to go ahead and take away this ordinance. And as a concerned citizen, I keep using this power of mine, but it's limited. All I can do is come to the city council meetings and hoping that all of my worries do not fall on deaf ears. But since we've been coming since July, August, and September, and we've been asking you guys to add this to the agenda. It's still falling on deaf ears. So I don't know how seriously I can take your guys' like commitment to our Hispanic community when we don't see any progress on this. Thank you.
You're welcome. Next is Ryan Hall. Ryan?
Good evening, everyone. My name is Ryan Hall. I am an administrative manager for Cal Pride, which, as many of you know, is a community-based organization here in Modesto. I am here to also urge council members to repeal or substantially amend Modesto City Ordinance Title IV, Chapter 23, Section 2, which restricts the use of specified items during public assembly. This ordinance directly threatens the health and safety of all Modesto residents and reporters by revoking our right to protect ourselves while attending public demonstrations. As you are aware, I'm not the only person, and Cal Pride is certainly not the only organization to critique this ordinance. The ACLU and the First Amendment Coalition recently issued a public letter last month calling for immediate change, and yet the city and the Committee Police Review Board continue to stall. The ACLU describes this ordinance as not only unclear and unworkable, but also discriminatory. Cal Pride could not agree more. While the ban of facial coverings and masks at public demonstrations makes an exception for anyone with medical conditions or religious beliefs, local law enforcement has publicly admitted to practicing a deeply problematic guilty until proven innocent approach when enforcing this ordinance. An amendment made to the ordinance includes a ban on protective gear commonly recommended for demonstrators and journalists. This is deeply concerning. Violent escalation tactics are utilized by both disruptive protesters and law enforcement, endangering United States residents otherwise demonstrating their political beliefs peacefully. While escalation is preventable at protests, residents and reporters have the right to protect their physical bodies in the event of escalation or police retaliation. The threat of arrest and prosecution for safely engaging in constitutionally protected acts de-incentivizes collective democratic action and journalism. No one should have to risk their identity, health, and physical safety in order to attend or report on a protest. Think about who this ordinance targets. There is clear and well-researched correlation between systemic marginalization and participation in collective action. While this ordinance applies to everyone, it directly impacts the marginalized communities likely to advocate for social and political change through public demonstrations. This ordinance does not protect the public. It denies us of our American right to free public assembly, speech, and press. Cal Pride enjoys a relationship with the City of Modesto founded on respect, accountability, and the hope for long-lasting change. We can only hope you extend the same respect to the communities we both serve by repealing or substantially amending this ordinance without further delay, regardless of recommendation by the Committee Police Review Board. Thank you.
You're welcome. Next, Barry Jackson.
Hi, Barry Jackson, Modesto. You might remember a couple weeks ago, I think, I came in and spoke about the basketball game at Bayer with the police department, and I didn't realize that he was behind me. So I didn't say it just because he was there, but he's a good guy. The chief is a really good person, and the department has a lot of good people there. Two things really quick before I get to the point of what I got here tonight to do is one, I was, when you first started this evening and the camera angle was from back there somewhere, and it made me really sad because I have a really big bald spot in the back of my head that I didn't see that I had. And so that kind of put me in a bummed mood. But I wanted to, just really be supportive and encouraging of the mayor and whoever else is involved in getting a replacement for the Modesto Nuts, because my grandpa was a player manager there in the 40s, 50s, and so I think he'd want me to kind of give whatever encouragement I can to try to get something going out there. I guess they went to San Bernardino or something. It was a little bit sad, but whatever. Anyway, main reason I'm here, and I had no idea that these other speakers were here on kind of the same agenda, but I'm very much my family's been here since like 1919 or something, 1920, and long time Modesto family, and proud to have Modesto as my home. Worked with teen, youth, special ed kids and whatever my whole career. Never made a lot of money, but was pretty happy doing it. And I got to say, I'm frightened to death that there are so many people in positions of authority and not that think wearing a mask, particularly on the end of law enforcement, federal law enforcement, is an okay thing. It is not. It is a fascist reality. And if that's something that anyone here, we can debate whether people protesting should wear masks or not. I'm not Hispanic. I'm definitely on their side in this whole huge issue, but I'm not Hispanic. I haven't been targeted. I'm an old white guy. So people don't give me a second look in this community about things like that. I'm out there protesting, but I also know they're not looking for me. I'm not an 18-year-old Hispanic or whatever. I worked with a lot of Afghani kids at Bayer. They look Hispanic. And a lot of them are here because their dads worked with Americans. They had to get out of the country, so they brought their families here. And they can be easily targeted. I understand law enforcement is, in a really difficult place with a lot of that. I'm certainly a pro-law enforcement kind of guy, law and order guy. I think police have always been my friend, but I tell you, the kind of person I am, if Modesto Police Department was cooperating with masked ICE agents, I have a huge problem with that. That is wrong, wrong, wrong. So if they're ever put in that position, I hope you guys can coordinate with the chief to at least not cooperate. You're not in charge of them, but at least not cooperate on a local level with masked law enforcement. That's Gestapo.
Thank you for your comments. All right, Teresa Gamboa.
Good evening, Mayors Wallen, Council, City Managers, City Attorneys, staff, and members of the public. My name is Teresa Gamboa. I am Chairwoman of Woodland West Community and a Neighborhood Watch Coordinator. Thank you for allowing me to speak tonight. As you might know, there is a sewer line replacement project happening on Mercy Avenue from Woodland to Grimes. It started a couple weeks ago. When it started, neighbors asked me to find out what was going on. I reached out to Will Wong, pipes. Will would know what's going on. So I reached out to Will, and he responded quickly to my email, giving me a brief explanation that I shared with the neighbors. And then he forwarded my email to Mr. Pete Gamble, who emailed me and gave me a much more detailed explanation and an invitation to reach out to him if I had any other questions or concerns. They are using a new technique that doesn't require them to tear up the road. And so everyone appreciates that. I'm impressed with that. And I would like to thank Will Wong, Pete Campbell, the engineer, and the workers out in the field for their excellent service to our community. On Labor Day, on the holiday, MPD Lieutenant Eric Schuler called me. He wanted to know more about our neighborhood. During our conversation, I mentioned speeders and red stop sign runners at Kansas and Rosemore. I didn't think anything of it. A few hours later, neighbors in that area started calling me, saying, "Teresa, thank you for the traffic enforcement." I said, "Guys, I didn't do it. It was Lieutenant Schuler." And so on behalf of those neighbors, I'd like to thank Lieutenant Schuler. As neighbors, I would also like to thank the MPD Crime Reduction Unit for their services last Wednesday. And thanks to the officers on patrol last night and today for responding to the many calls for service in our neighborhood. And finally, the Woodland West Steering Committee is going to be hosting Family Fun Day this Saturday at Sharp Park. We're going to be serving pizza. We're going to be having guests from the police department, the sheriff's department, hopefully the parks department. The Woodland Avenue firefighters are coming out. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're looking forward to it. So come on out if you're free and join us. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Danielle Morgart.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Council members. My name is Danielle Morgar. I'm from the Office of Assemblyman Juan Alanis to provide a legislative update. So this Friday will be the last day for this year's legislative session until we return January of 2026. Our offices will remain open, ready to assist constituents with any casework services, any state departments such as Franchise Tax Board, EDD, DMV, the list goes on. But with our legislative update, we are still awaiting a hearing for AB 16, which is the ballot counting efficiency bill. It's to be heard for a second, possibly a third time on the Senate. We also have AB 528, which is the child sexual abuse material evidence. That one, unfortunately, was held in Senate Appropriations. It's now a 2-year bill. This will give us a little more time to try and address any concerns on the bill. And then we also have Assemblyman Alanis's AB 310, which is the Nevaeh's Law cleanup bill, also currently in line to be heard on the floor. As always, if there's any questions or concerns, please don't hesitate to reach out to our office. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Brian. Welcome.
Good evening, Council. Brian Evatt. I'm here because of reasons for the Modesto Police Department and making arrests, false arrest. I turned around and put a claim in because of the false arrest against me. And a burglar was breaking in the house. I called the Modesto PD out to respond to it. I says, I'm en route. When I got there, the Modesto PD released the burglar, and he was with an adopted daughter, the foster daughter that this city had given the man. And he brought her to the crime. And when I was there, he says, I released the guy. I said, why'd you release him? He says, well, I got his phone number, and I'll call him back and tell him to bring the stuff back. This is one of our officers. I said, well, when he comes back, I'm going to arrest him. The officers told me that I couldn't arrest him. The next morning, I went over there, and I was checking on witnesses, talking to the neighbors, and the same 2 officers came, and they arrested me, saying that the burglar said that I threatened to kill him. Now, this burglar lives in Oakdale, which is a whole different area than Modesto. They put me in jail. They turned around and contaminated me. And basically, under citizen's arrest, under 4016 of the code, even if I'm placed in the jail by you or a citizen, which is still you in the county jail, you're the responsible party to pay for me being in there. So now if we keep doing this and our officers keep doing this, then the city needs to pay the sheriff's department money for putting these people in under these civil actions. Now that's the law. That's the penal code. Now I don't understand. I don't get anything. You denied my claim. The case was dismissed. It took 2 years out of my life. $64,000 bail. I watched a kid in there that beat his mother, beat his sister, and they go, we'll let him out on $400. You only have to pay $40 to get out. Now, this is what's happening, is we that own property here seem to be held in and extorted money out of. Now, first of all, I have the right to make that arrest. It should have been done, but your officer, Cullums, turned around and didn't want to. He took my civil rights away. Now, is this what we're going to do, just keep taking more of our civil rights away to people that own property? Are we trying to run us out? I've been here since the beginning of time. You guys don't seem to get anything right, even developing this city. You want to stretch it all over here, put it here. We don't have a convention center like other cities. We can't have boat shows. We can't have RVs because you guys just don't want to do it. The mall came in. We built the mall there. And the next thing you know, we're supposed to have a convention center with side tracks to bring this stuff. We're supposed to have an A stadium. So it's all there. We have overflow parking that was designed by Hahn. But no, you cut us short there too. You put a half overpass in and kept the other half of the state's money. I'm just trying to figure out, where are you going in this town? You just seem to just let it run free, get the money out of the people. And last time I was in here, I was heckled and everything, and you didn't even give me an extra minute for the heckler. You didn't even stop him.
All right.
Now, this is serious because you can't do this to people.
Thank you.
You should pay the claim I put in.
Next is Celia Garcia Perez.
Honorable council members, thank you for the opportunity to speak. My name is Celia Garcia Perez, and I am a local community member and a Chicana. with deep family roots in Modesto. I also have an undergraduate degree in Chicana and Chicano studies. I'd also like to note that I have nothing but respect for El Concilio and the work that they do. In fact, I worked for them as a case manager serving Spanish-speaking clients many years ago. And moving forward, I respectfully recommend that our city consider adopting the term Latinx Heritage Month in place of Hispanic Heritage Month, aligning not only with California's official recognition of California Latino Heritage Month, but also with a broader, more inclusive understanding of our diverse communities. The term Latinx more accurately reflects the cultural and geographic identities of millions of Californians, and many who live right here in Modesto, whose heritage is rooted in Latin America, including indigenous, Afro-Latino, and Brazilian communities, many of whom do not identify with the term Hispanic, which centers Spanish colonial legacy and excludes non-Spanish speaking cultures. It is a dirty, culturally irrelevant word in my vocabulary. California has already set a precedent by officially recognizing Latino Heritage Month. As a city, we have the opportunity to echo that leadership and celebrate the true richness and complexity of our Latino communities. This is not just about language, it's about representation. Using Latinx Heritage Month ensures our language reflects the full, inclusive identity of the people we serve. Thank you.
You're welcome. Next, Steve.
I'd like to read once again an excerpt from, this is a quote from the Modesto Bee. They point out, the council is the only governing body that can repeal or amend the ordinance. There is nothing in the city charter that prevents the council from taking up the issue on its own. I know better than to try to read off of my phone without putting my readers on first. That makes a fellow wonder, why do you refuse to have a conversation? No one's got your hands tied behind your backs. So you're either choosing to despise the will of this community, or you're afraid of somebody. I hate to have to admit it, because believe it or not, I don't care what you guys think, because I see how you operate. I try very hard to have a positive outlook on the horrors that I see in front of me. So you guys can talk all the shit you want. I'm a very loving person with a heart of gold. And yet, I'm not remotely surprised that you guys are so resistant, when it is so obvious to anyone that gives a damn that this city and its cops are targeting and discriminating against communities of color, against black people and indigenous folks. And when you want to know one reason I know that's got to be true, Mr. Alvarez, did you see his? We can go back and look on YouTube, but he was pissed. He got mad when somebody from the BIPOC coalition even used the term BIPOC. Go back on YouTube and find it and watch it. He was pissed. And he was like, what's that? This same council member has weaponized my whiteness to tell me that I shouldn't care about the problem of police violence and police overreach. They are tied. The reason I give a damn so much, well, there's many reasons, but they're all intersecting. I know people who have had their loved ones murdered by your cops, who will move to have a discussion of repealing the code agendized for a future meeting. It doesn't necessarily even have to be the next one. Which one of you has a heart And which one of you is not afraid of Sue or Mr. Manager Lopez or anyone at the Modesto Police Officers Association? Who will agendize it? Being that it's so obvious that people want to see you talk about it, who's going to put it on the agenda? Who will make the motion? You can't wait to talk shit about me afterward, huh, Eric? Yeah, I do listen.
All right.
I see how you guys operate. It's all personal. It's all political. It's all
Okay.
about your career. Thank you for listening.
You're welcome. Next is Anthony Drobnik.
Hello.
Hello.
My mom raised me to be polite, so I'd like to open my remarks by wishing you all a good evening. I'd like to do that, but I can't, because as long as Municipal Code 42302 is limiting our First Amendment freedoms in this city, how can I, in good conscience, claim that it is a good evening here in Modesto? As long as this council delays agendizing and voting to repeal this embarrassment of an ordinance, how can any evening be a good evening? There's nothing good about an ordinance that enables cops to make politically motivated arrests. There's nothing good about detaining our unhoused youth. There's nothing good about MPD injuring a member of the public during an unnecessary arrest. There's nothing good about masked cops hypocritically operating in our streets while members of the public are arrested for doing the same. There's nothing good about passing the buck to the CPRB rather than taking the common sense action to remove an ordinance that spits on the First Amendment. There is nothing good about this council's disinterest in empowering the CPRB to call for meaningful oversight in the form of an independent investigation into MPD's conduct. There is nothing good about normalizing abuse of police power by labeling unnecessary, biased, politically motivated arrests as professional. There is nothing good about instilling fear into the hearts of the public. I would love to heed my mom's teaching and wish everyone here a good evening, but I'll have to let my mother know that I cannot do that. Not tonight. I can't do that until this council makes good on your oath of office. I had to take the exact same oath to become a public school teacher. And that oath is, and I quote, "I do solemnly swear or affirm that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California, that I take that obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties upon which I am about to enter." I would point out that when the mayor gave that oath upon her election to this office, she was wearing a mask. I thought that was a good idea at the time. I still think it's a good idea. And our oath may have been the same, but here is where we differ. Unlike all of you, I happen to think the First Amendment was a good idea. And while today is California's birthday, I'll inform you that next Wednesday is Constitution Day. It marks the 238th anniversary of our Constitution, and it might do you all some good to actually read the damn thing, because I'm not convinced you have with the way this council's inaction erodes our First Amendment rights. Have an evening.
All right. The next is Nick.
Good evening. I am once again here to talk about the mask mandate, but first I wanted to talk about a few other things. It has been promising to see some change in the City Council, including the solidarity and support of the Latinx community that is currently at threat locally and at the national level. And additionally, seeing the charges dropped for those that were targeted at the CBB pipe, words are hard, at the rally. So it's good to see those charges dropped. That being said, it has been business as usual with the City Council. As the country takes more and more steps to disenfranchising its own citizens and anyone that this administration deems in disfavor, it is disappointing that the City Council, a council representing over 200,000 citizens, a council that has just stated with the previous acknowledgement of representation of the Latinx community, around 40% makes up that community. and not taking any legitimate actions to protect that community and community as a whole is meaningless. Repealing the mask mandate is the bare minimum this council can make to protect Modesto citizens as a whole from the tyrannical federal government, an inept racist Supreme Court, and law enforcement that has been weaponized to serve both. These actions allow more power to law enforcement, which the law enforcement has never been held accountable and weaponized by those previously stated. More and more we see the power taken away from the people and the citizens that not only this country represents, but the city council is supposed to represent as well. Repealing this mandate is the bare minimum that we can do to help protect this community, and not doing so supports the interest of a bloated, fascist, racist, systemic law enforcement agency. Mind you, the law enforcement agency of the policing was formed as slave catching to reinforce the status quo of white privilege and systemic racism. So keeping this status quo reinforces this, keeping this mask mandate keeps the status quo that law enforcement cannot be held accountable and that its own citizens at the local and federal level do not matter. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, that's the blue cards that I have. Is there anyone else wishing to come forward to speak under public comment at this time?
Good evening. My name is Laricana. I am a concerned community member and resident of Modesto. Here to once again call upon the City Council to take action by adding Municipal Code 4-23.02 subsection 13 to the agenda and voting to repeal the ordinance's unconstitutional anti-masking provision. Criminalizing masking does not keep our community safe. It violates our First Amendment rights and creates the conditions for the police to exercise their bias and discriminate against vulnerable members of our community, including people of color, immigrants, and unhoused youth, which is what occurred during the anti-deportation protest that took place on June 14th, when MPD chose to selectively enforce and weaponize this ordinance against those of us with a different political viewpoint. Policing people simply for wearing a mask is a form of profiling and repression that has already caused harm and will continue to cause harm if the council continues to look the other way and ignore our input. I have heard this council express great concern for our unhoused neighbors. I would hope that the council's care for the homeless would also extend to the unhoused youth who were targeted, arrested, and detained by the police for nearly 12 hours that day on June 14th, all because they peacefully exercised their right to protected anonymous speech. Your support for our unhoused should not be conditioned on perceiving them as passive, apolitical, and voiceless. Your support for the homeless should extend to our unhoused and housing insecure community members who speak up for what is right and take a stand for humanity. I ask that your words be backed up with consistent action. I will close with 2 quotes. The first one is from an unhoused youth who recounted his experience of witnessing his friends get snatched up and arrested by cops on June 14th. He shared, "When I proceeded to go home back to my shelter where I live at night, knowing that not one, but 3 of my friends couldn't go home with me because they were taken by law enforcement, it stressed me out. Riot guns were being pointed at them. It kind of scared me because I thought my friends were in danger." End quote. The second quote I will lift up is from one of his friends, also an unhoused youth, who was directly targeted and faced intimidation, humiliation, and dehumanization by law enforcement, simply for wearing a mask. He shared, "They treated me like an animal. They put me in shackles at least 3 times. I was nothing but cordial at the sheriff's detention center, yet they still treated me like garbage. I was ignored while I was in my cell. I was separated from my friends who were also arrested that day." End quote. Does this sound like public safety to you? This is the consequence of an ordinance written by out-of-touch armchair experts in the abstract who have zero stake in or consideration for real-world equity and justice. Listen to the experts of our own lives. Us, everyday people who bear the brunt of bad policy decisions. Repeal the mask ordinance. Thank you.
You're welcome. Is there anyone else under public comment? this time?
Good evening. I'm a concerned community member here to call upon City Council to take action by adding Municipal Code 4-23.02, Section 13 to the agenda and voting to repeal the ordinance on unconstitutional anti-masking provision. I applaud the people of Modesto who keep showing up to demand that the City Council remove this mask ordinance. I want to remind people that this mask ordinance was adopted because MPD misled the City Council into thinking that anyone who wore a mask was going to commit a crime. No one should be criminalized for wearing a mask. This violates our First Amendment right and allows the police to pick and choose what group to target. And on Saturday, June 14th, when CV BIPOC held our ICE Out of the Central Valley protest to protest the mass deportations happening in California, MPD chose to confiscate our megaphone and then escalated tensions by pointing their 12-gauge shotguns at an unarmed crowd. People have said MPD acted professionally, but I would say that MPD acted like an aggressor. When tensions were already high in our community, when we witnessed mass deportations happening in our state, we wanted to come out to Modesto and voice our solidarity with immigrants across not just California, but across the nation, but we were met with repression and detainment. But this intimidation tactic only made the people of Modesto closer and stronger as we have banded together to ask you to put this municipal code on the agenda so we may vote to repeal it. Please do not prove us that this ask will fall on deaf ears, but choose to be on the right side of history, for we will remember that once your seats go up for re-election. Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other comments?
Good evening. My name is Madison Condit. June 14th, the day of the ICE Out protests, the day that protesters were unjustly arrested, the day that MPD used scare tactics on its own citizens at a peaceful protest, was almost 3 months ago, and we're still basically at the same place. Not only has no action been taken, but you have all been virtually silent on this issue. A few comments here and there in local news articles is not sufficient, and that lack of communication will never draw your community in closer or make local politics more accessible. I want to start by pointing out that Nick Bavaro's comment about everything in government moving slowly to be pretty silly considering this situation. I'd like to reiterate, and I hope none of us lose sight of the fact that this ordinance was put together and passed all within a week in 2019. You cannot ignore the reality that when the council wants to do something with quickness, they will. They will especially move quickly if the MPD is fear-mongering them into believing that crime will happen if people wear a mask to a protest. Once this mask ordinance is removed, I hope that moving forward, you can all at least take the learning lesson that you should use those big brains and not just go along with something because a cop tells you it's necessary. How is it that you all feel about the sheriff's department right now? Seems like you'll do anything for cops, but it actually turns out that cops won't just do anything for you. Anyways, while we wait for the mask ordinance to be repealed, as you all act helpless, I guess you'll all sleep well knowing that free speech is chilled. Do you all feel proud that people don't feel comfortable attending a peaceful protest because of a lack of action by their government to protect their First Amendment speech? Does that not bother you? You guys trying to push this onto the CPRB is nothing more than pushing the can down the road. To push an issue that has the power to prevent people from exercising their First Amendment to a board that meets once a month is crazy disrespectful to your constituents. The narrative that this is about public safety has never been rooted in reality and never will be. You guys repeat that over and over again so that you can justify to yourselves why what you're doing is the right thing. And it's obviously not the right thing. The politics, the happenings, the residents within Modesto do not exist inside of a vacuum. Free speech is being chilled everywhere. What Modesto politicians, you guys, are doing right now is making sure that your guys' residents feel that fear right here at home. And I want to say that Chris Rickey, I know I can't direct this at him, but you made a big mistake by speaking at that protest just to turn around and do the opposite of everything you said. You should have just stayed home. You did a big self-report, and I hope you feel pretty embarrassed by that. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right.
I see you, Eric. I see you. You can stop staring now.
My name is Leah Hassett. I've stood up here a few times
to demand repeal of the mask and poll ordinance that we're all talking about again. I am frustrated that the ordinance is still in place. It is particularly disheartening that so many voices are being ignored on this issue when all around the country and even the world, vulnerable people are being arrested for nothing, just like what happened here. I'm worried that Modesto can't be a beacon of community and support for all of its members. And I'm so sad and so mad that authorities in my own diverse town are mimicking the authoritarian U.S. government, intimidating, discriminating, and abusive. This repression needs to be repealed and remedied. And I demand that you vote against this ordinance. Thank you for listening.
You're welcome. Is there anyone else at this time?
Hi, my name is Will. I'm from Modesto. I'm here to talk about the mask ordinance. You know, it's not against the law. I'm not against any city ordinance to wear a mask in public in general. And also, it's not against the law to protest. So, you know, when those two combine, you know, I guess it seems ridiculous that those two things are now illegal or like against city ordinance, you know, and an arrestable offense. You know, both things by themselves seem perfectly fine, but put them together and now it's some law that you broke if you wear a mask and are protesting. I just think that it makes it to where people are afraid to protest. It's police intimidation. I know that I was there when the first protester got arrested, and me and my girlfriend, we thought of leaving. And, you know, I'm a white male who's 6 foot tall, and I didn't feel safe, you know, protesting when I was there. So we ended up staying, but we seriously considered going home. And, you know, that's because of the way that the police acted when they arrested the person there. So if I didn't feel safe, I'm sure a lot of other people feel a lot less safe than I do. And people shouldn't feel unsafe exercising their right to protest. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Good evening, everyone. So I didn't think I would make it here tonight, so I didn't prepare any statements. I was in the Bay Area. I just got here. But I'm really grateful for everyone who spoke before me to actually give me some time to come up here and talk about the mask ordinance because, I'm kind of tired of coming here over and over and over again just to speak about the same thing. It seems it's ridiculous how long it's taking. It's like someone else said that it was put in place within a week, and yet here we are now months later still talking about this, waiting for the CPRB to submit some sort of statement, despite the fact that we already know it's against the First Amendment, just like the ACLU said. They're literally the number one authority when it comes to enforcing the Constitution. And yet, here we have to come here week after week almost just to talk about this. And it's gotten repetitive. And yet, I see no movement, but everyone here has the power to put it on the agenda. Like, what's up with that? I'm really confused. But yeah, I just need to see this gone so we can freely protest and conceal our identities, not just from MPD, but from ICE and from other officials who might want to retaliate against us for speaking out against their authority. It's, you know, like, we have that right. We have the right to speak up against authority, whether you like it or not, and we're going to fight for it. So even if you guys start moving on this, if it's not to our satisfaction, I promise you, I'm going to work with the ACLU to sue the city. That's what we're going to do. That's the next step. If you guys don't just straight up repeal the mask ordinance, it's gonna go to a lawsuit. And I don't know why you'd want to keep dragging it out that way. Why do we need to drag it out to a lawsuit? But I'm kind of looking forward to that because it could create a precedent in the state of California saying, you know, any city who wishes to do something like this, you can't. You're done. So, yeah, sorry if it was a little messy, but I didn't have anything prepared, but that's all I have to say. Thank you.
You're welcome. Right. Anyone else tonight? All right. Next on the agenda is consent items. An item may be removed from consent and discussed at the request of a member of the public or council member. Is there anyone on the council that would like a consent item removed for further discussion? Seeing none, is there anyone in the public that would like an item removed from consent for further discussion or comment? Item 20. Okay, would you please step up and...
Item 20, I have a question on it.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Will the city clerk please read the consent items?
Yes, Mayor. Item 3, consider approving the minutes for the August 26, 2025 council meeting. Item 4, consider appointing a voting delegate to the 2025 League of California Cities Annual Conference to be held in Long Beach, California on October 8th through 10th. 2025. Item 5, consider approving the response to the findings and recommendations of the 2024-2025 Stanislaus County Civil Grand Jury Consolidated Report, case number 25-23GJ. Item 6, consider accepting the Accounts Receivable Internal Controls Review Report. Item 7, consider accepting the Capital Improvement Program Assessment Report. Item 8, consider accepting the Permitting Efficiency Study Update Report. Item 9, consider approving the recommended budget adjustments for fiscal year 2024, 2025, and fiscal year 2025, 2026 annual operating and capital improvement program budgets and amending the fiscal year 2025, 2026 position allocation. Item 10, consider adopting notice of exemption EA C&ED number 2025-15, which affirms a proposed project is exempt for the California Environmental Quality Act and accepting the California Department of Transportation Sustainable Transportation Planning fiscal year 2025-2026 grant in the amount of $450,000 for the development of the downtown Modesto multi-module transportation network and land use compatibility plan. Item 11, consider accepting the Upgrade Traffic Signals 2019 project as complete, releasing securities, releasing payments totaling $1,688,191 to St. Francis Electric LLC of San Leandro, California, and authorizing the city clerk to file a notice of completion. Item 12, consider approving the subdivision improvements agreements and final maps for the Founders Point 2, Wood Glen Villages 4A, 4B, and 6, which together comprise approximately 20.1 acres, consisting of 138 residential lots, 5 landscape lots, and public right-of-way dedications of approximately 5.1 acres, all located in the southwest corner of Bangs Avenue and Tully Road, APN 046-007-048 and 046-007-049. Item 13, consider delegating the responsibility for investment transactions to the Director of Finance and accepting the annual investment report for fiscal year 2024-2025. Item 14, consider approving the purchase for 1 fleet replacement and 1 fleet addition for fleet vehicles, which includes 1 2025 Ford F-350 truck and 1 Digger Derrick truck in the amount not to exceed $653,670. Item 15, consider approving the emergency purchases for an amount not to exceed $155,990 to cover all costs incurred by the urgent and significant water and mold damage repairs to Fire Station 11. Item 16, consider approving the third amendment with West Coast Door and Gate Series, California for on-call commercial roll-up door maintenance and repair services, increasing the agreement amount by $160,000 and extending the term of the agreement to June 2nd, 2026. Item 17, consider approving the First Amendment to the agreement with Moss Adams LLP, Stockton, California, for city auditor and city auditing services to amend the original agreement to include the compensation language per each fiscal year audit plan. Item 18, consider approving the agreements with Telceon Communications Group, Turlock, California, for the Criminal Justice Informational Services System Implementation Project for a total amount not to exceed $167,592. Item 19, consider approving secondary agreements with law enforcement Psychological Services, Los Gatos, California, and Core Psychological Corporation, Gold River, California, for pre-employment psychological services for a total combined amount not to exceed $40,000 over 3 years. Item 20 was removed from consent. Item 21, consider approving a pre-qualified local consultant list for civil engineering services for a period of 5 years.
All right. May I have a motion to approve the consent calendar as amended with item 20 removed? Moved by Councilmember Wright. Second by Councilmember Scudia-Brayton. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilmember Williams? Aye. Councilmember Wright? Aye. Councilmember Scudia-Brayton?
Aye.
Councilmember Alvarez?
Aye.
Councilmember Ricky?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Bavaro?
Aye.
And Mayor Zwollen.
Aye. Carries unanimously. Item 20, consider approving the agreement for on-call electrical services to Advanced Lighting Services Incorporated, Dublin, California, for a total amount not to exceed $1,334,456 over 5 years. And we will have a staff report.
Good evening, Mayor, council members. Bill Sandu, Public Works Director. So this item is on-call electrical services. So these services are for all of our citywide buildings, parks, to provide on-call as needed electrical services. And so on December 9th, 2024, the Purchasing Division issued invitation for bids on Planet Bid. That's the platform we use for all of our bidding needs. And 21 companies downloaded the bid material. Out of the 21 that downloaded, 5 of them were local companies that downloaded, but only 2 companies bid on this project, and none of them were the local ones. And we actually, staff reached out to our current local vendor, Central Valley Electric, and encouraged them to bid, and they did not bid. So we recommend to award this bid to the company that's the on-call company to Advanced Lighting, because they were the only one responsive bidder, and the staff in this case actually tried to reach out to local firms also. Happy to answer any questions.
All right, thank you. Any questions from council members regarding item 20? Seeing none, comments from the public.
Yes, thank you for that information. And I guess my question, Mayor, was basically having to do with the fact that, you know, the company was in Dublin, and not knowing that no local company bid for it. I did not know that. But I am wondering, is this a service that could have been provided by MID? And, you know, since it's our local electrical provider here in Modesto, and if it could have been provided by MID, could it have been provided at a cheaper cost? So basically, that's what I'm wondering about this.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Thank you. Thank you for your question. Would you like to address that? Thank you.
Thank you for that question. And the bid was open to anybody, MID, if they had staff, if they chose to bid, if they meet the criteria, they were welcome to bid on it. Thank you.
All right. Any other comments from the public regarding item 20? Comments from council members? Seeing none, we have a resolution approving the award of bid and agreement for on-call electrical services to Advanced Lighting Services Incorporated, Dublin, California, for a 2-year agreement with 3 1-year extension options for an estimated annual amount of $267,114 and a total amount not to exceed $1,335,566 over 5 years, and authorizing the city manager or his designee to execute the agreement. Motion by Councilmember Wright.
Second.
Second by Councilmember Alvarez. And will the clerk please call the roll for this item?
Councilmember Williams?
Aye.
Councilmember Wright? Councilmember Gutierrez-Brayton? Councilmember Alvarez?
Aye.
Councilmember Ricky?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Bavaro?
Aye.
And Mayor Zwallen?
Aye, carries unanimously. Next on the agenda is council comments and reports. Do any council members have any comments or reports at this time? Councilmember Williams.
Thank you, Mayor. Just a brief comment. First is I was at the Ag Luncheon last Thursday, the Ag Luncheon that was put on by the Modesto Chamber of Commerce. It was the 63rd annual, held at the Ag Building at MJC. And the guest speaker, the keynote speaker was Mike West of the West family. And he's a fourth generation Western, I guess you want to call it, from the West family, and did indicate that they would be continuing to keep their headquarters here in Modesto. They found a location to put that. I won't say what that is, even though he said it publicly, but I'm glad that they're staying here in the city of Modesto for their headquarters. They've been around 116 years, if I'm not mistaken. Congratulations to them.
All right, Councilmember Alvarez.
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to echo what my colleague Jeremiah Williams said earlier in the Hispanic Heritage Month comments. El Concilio is having their, and I was going to say this at this point in time, but I'll say it again, even though it's been said, on the 19th, their evening of celebration of honors and tributes at the Doubletree here across the street, and that's taking place, I think doors open at 5 on the 19th. And they will have, as was mentioned, Gina Brion, who's a stand-up comedian who's been featured on HBO and other national outlets. In addition to that, I want to highlight some MPD or Modesto Police Department crime stats for the month of August. Total major violent crime is down 13%. Robbery is down 26%. Major property crime is down 21%. Auto theft is down a huge 43%. Commercial burglary is also down 43%. Residential burglary is down 10%. Sex offenses are down 24%. DUI collisions are down 13%. And DUI arrests are up 19%. So I want to tip my hat to Chief Gillespie and the MPD for ensuring that the City of Modesto is prioritizing public safety and creating an environment that we all want to live, work, and raise our families in. And I also want to thank the city manager and staff for being really nimble on blight abatement escalations that I received from constituents in District 2 and tackling them on as they come in. And I've gotten a really positive response from the Measure H blight abatement team, or Measure H sponsored blight abatement team. When there's a call or escalation that comes in, they go out there with their trailers and trucks and pick up any blight or debris left over from homeless encampments or transients. So, yeah, just wanted to mention those few things. Thank you, Mayor.
Next is Councilmember Gutierrez-Brayton.
Thank you. Kind of tagging on and continuing with the theme of the day with Hispanic Heritage Month, one of the several events that I attended recently, several of us attended the opening of the second Vallarta supermarket in the city of Modesto. And the second opening is on Oakdale Boulevard. And it was a wonderful opening, and in keeping like the Vallarta supermarket, several hundred, if not 1,000 Modestans were there to be there just for the grand opening. They, as is typical with their grand openings, they handed out several hundred bags of food to families that were there. This is a very generous family that owns Vallarta Supermarkets, the Gonzalez family. They give out hundreds of thousands of dollars to schools and charities annually. I know several of our schools and charities were beneficiaries of that. That particular day, they handed out donations totaling $7,500 to Modesto schools and charities, which was wonderful. They also are generous in providing jobs for our community members. In their first store that is in my district on Pallandale, they opened with over 200 jobs for our community members. In this new location, they had 194 jobs. They interviewed several hundred people, but ultimately a total of 421 Modestans received jobs at these two businesses. So it's great that they're in town. They have a medley of produce, and just when you walk into their stores, you just feel like you're in Disneyland because it's so bright and vibrant, and the food selection is just really enjoyable and good tasting at a good price. But anyways, it's we attended that celebration, and my colleagues and I honored them with a city certificate, and the mayor spoke. So it was a delightful event. So I'm glad that that employer is here and contributing to our vibrant economy in Modesto. That's it. Thank you.
Councilmember Ricky.
Thanks, Mayor. I'm really excited about the possibility of bringing a warehouse market, kind of like a Finley Market in Cincinnati or Pike's Place Market in Seattle, to downtown Modesto. It could feature local artisans, entrepreneurs, businesses featuring restaurants, bakeries, delicatessen, butcher, produce stands, coffee roasters, microbrewers, wine, etc., and all at a rent that small businesses could afford and thrive and grow. And now we're finding out that the old courthouse site could really make it real. And so the city is doing an input session about what could happen at the old courthouse site on September 24th at 5 p.m. at Greens Market in downtown Modesto. So I'm hoping that, if you guys think this idea is good, or if you think some other idea is good, come down to the meeting and get your point of view out there, because it's an incredible opportunity for our city. It's not one that we get very often, where there's a whole city block that we can redevelop right in the middle of our city. I also want to touch on the police statistics that we just got this month. And I don't want to recount them all. Councilmember Alvarez did a heck of a job on that, but I do think that auto thefts being down by 41%, robbery being down by 26%. This shows very good work by our police department. It shows that as a council, we are giving them what they need to do a good job. And I just want to, I appreciate the work that Chief Gillespie is doing. And I think that, let us know what else we can do to keep these numbers going in the right direction. Thanks, Mayor.
Vice Mayor Bavaro.
Thank you, Mayor. I would like to touch upon the Downtown Streets team this evening. As we all know, as of October 31st, Downtown Streets team will be closing in 16 cities, including the city of Modesto. I know that everybody, the mayor and all the city council members, have interacted with the Downtown Streets team. And being encouraging to those who are trying to get their lives back together. And this council has been very bold about and very open about the importance of the Downtown Streets team. And it breaks all of our hearts to know that because of financial and political matters, they're going to be closing down. Downtown Streets team has been the face, in my opinion, of the homeless or on-house programs that the city of Modesto has been working on for many years. They're the ones that people in the neighborhoods see picking up our trash. And, last year, 2024, they picked up over 53 tons of trash in our city and over 1,300 needles. And but we need to look forward, and we need to keep this program going under a different nonprofit. And I know that our community and economic development department Director Jessica Hill and her team are working literally night and day to trying to salvage a program that has been a godsend to many individuals who are homeless, who were able to get into this program, be able to regain self-respect, to regain their work ethic, and be able to move up and find jobs. So this has been a powerful program, and I know that this council is going to do everything possible to not shut this down and have it go away. We're going to do everything possible to keep it going. So those are my comments on the Downtown Streets team. Thank you, Mayor.
I have just a few brief activities that we participated in, some of us, that I think it's important for the community to be aware of. I participate every month in the Superintendent of Schools Key Communicators Group, and we have a new superintendent in the city of Modesto. That's 30,000 students, a lot of parents, and a lot of our residents that are affected by this, but Superintendent Vanessa Betrego is here. She was raised here. She attended Modesto High School. She brings her love of Modesto to the job that she's currently in, and it's been really great to meet with her several times, and this was one other opportunity. There was a delightful Asian American Pacific Islander Festival that I attended, where there was about 20 different performances, dances, food, all that you can imagine. That was absolutely wonderful. We partnered the City of Modesto with the Chinese Association. Wei Li has done so much for so many years to promote this, and it was another great event. I was invited to be part of a CAP radio interview where we were primarily to be talking about soccer coming to Modesto, but there were a lot of other questions that were asked also. And that's live radio, so it's always a little bit nerve-wracking to do that, but I tried to do the best job that I could to represent us. We had a Safe Streets for All community workshop. So we know that one area that we really need to improve on is our street safety with auto versus pedestrian and also car crashes. So we had a lot of community input for that. There's opportunity still to take surveys. I encourage everyone to hop on to share your thoughts and ideas on what you would like to see as far as improvements to make our streets safer for all of us. There was the Stanislaus County Office of Education Leadership Academy Local Leadership Day, where it's a wonderful opportunity to participate with students. There probably 50 or so students, and they ask a lot of questions. I was joined by Manny Graywall's representative and our county superintendent of schools, Scott Kuykendall, as well as Wendell Emerson from the district attorney's office. We were on the panel, and the students were really engaged. It was wonderful. This morning, I attended the Modesto Police Clergy Council with our assistant chief, Ivan Valencia, and there again, we had another opportunity to share what's happening in our city, to answer a lot of questions, and to engage and be a collaborative partner with Highway Patrol, with the Sheriff's Office, with a lot of the local pastors in our area. So it's a great opportunity, and many other community members. That's it for me. I don't see any other names up there. Any other council members with comments? Seeing none. Does the city manager have any comments and reports? All right. Are there any matters too late for the agenda? Seeing none, I'm calling this meeting of the City Council to be adjourned. We will start right up after a 10-minute break with the second portion for the special City Council meeting.